Shalom, everybody. Welcome back. We have some insights in this amazing and happy and joyous and uplifting holiday festival coming up, Chag Sukkot. And again, we would like to just give a brief summary of specific points culled from Rebbe Nachman's Likutey Moharan, lesson 24. We'd like to emphasize the two main points of the lesson, where Rebbe Nachman explains that through doing mitzvot with joy, this propels a person and the energy of the mitzvah and Hashem's divine presence and any holiness trapped up and up and up and up to bounce onto or off the level called Keter, which is the interface between Hashem's infinite light, and us. And by bouncing back, a person creates vessels to perceive the infinite light. What this means, we emphasize this again and again because this is the point. What this means on a practical level is that when a person faces major challenges in life, which bring him a lot of frustration, a lot of confusion, a lot of feelings of chas v'shalom, futility and despair and not knowing what to do, the key, Rebbe Nachman stresses, is focus on being happy. Focus on doing what you're doing b'simcha. Focus on joy. This joy will be the means to tap into the infinite light, which translates on a practical level to gain clarity and light in life. And this clarity and light is the actual solution and way out of the frustration and the confusion and everything else, okay? This is why, believe it or not, this is such a fundamental lesson in Rebbe Nachman's Likutey Moharan. Rav Nosson wrote such a beautiful discourse on this lesson, Likutey Halachot, the laws of Thanksgiving, Hoda'ah, discourse number 6, which was a few years before Rav Nosson passed away. It's one of the longest discourses in Likutey Halachot, one of the most beautiful ones that contains this pertinent lesson of how joy is the key, how to overcome all challenges and difficulties and pain and suffering. Work on simcha, that is the key out. Ki v'simcha tetzeu. Okay, it can't be understressed. With that in mind, we can now look on this perspective, from this point of view of Likutey Moharan lesson 24, this point on the mitzvah of the etrog and the lulav and hadassim and the aravot. Before that, let's just go in deeper to one of the points that Rebbe Nachman brings in this lesson 24. He says, like we said earlier, that by doing a mitzvah b'simcha, this propels you forward, up and up and up and up, until you actually hit the keter, the interface between you and the infinite light, and you're bounced back. Okay? What is expected of you on a practical level when you're bounced back? What are you supposed to do? When you're going forward, and then you're faced with such a setback. It's like they pulled the carpet from under your legs, the rug's under your feet. What are you supposed to do then? How do you be happy? How do you hold on when everything is just hitting you in the face? And you're faced with unexpected, because really they come in unexpected ways, setbacks and failures and feelings of dejection. You begin to wonder, Hashem, what did I do wrong? All I wanted to be was a good Jew. That's all I wanted. That's all I want. And I'm hit with such difficulties. You're making it even harder for me, as if it wasn't harder in the first place. Now I'm hit again. Hashem Yitbarach, God, what do you want from me? What are you expecting from me? So Rav Nosson, in his words, in the prayer on this lesson, prayer 24 that he composed in his book of prayers, Likutey Tfilot, translated as the 50th gate, prayer 24, plus in this beautiful moving discourse, Hoda'ah, number 6, what comes out, Rav Nosson shows and hints, is that when you are pushed back in life, especially after doing good, especially after working on trying to be b'simcha, when you're hit backwards, what is expected to come out of you is a thing called yearning and desire. Retzonot v'kisufin hishtokekut. Yearning, desire, and pining and cleaving to come back to Hashem. Because when does that happen? When does a person actually desire and yearn to come back to Hashem? When there are setbacks. When a person is distanced and he feels very far from his goals. So what comes out then is yearning. In fact, in many places in Breslov literature, Rav Nosson points this out, and also Rebbe Nachman, the reason why you're having these setbacks is in order to bring out from potential to actual your yearning. That's why it's happening. You can't expect a person, everything's going smoothly and everything's fine and dandy and everything's great, and then expect them to have yearning, where the yearning is the pinnacle. The pinnacle is the highest thing that leads you to connect. So how do you get that to happen? There's no other alternative except to push a person back. The setback, the being pushed backwards, is in order to bring out a person's true essence, which is his yearning and desire. But for this to be properly done, to have good desire, and first of all to have even the right desire in the first place, to yearn for holiness, the prerequisite is starting with simcha. That a person is positive, he gets back up on his feet, he starts again, he tries again, okay, and he works on being b'simcha in life, and then he gets a setback. So the natural process of things, the natural order of things, is that a person will begin to yearn and desire, okay? So Rebbe Nachman points out, and also the Zohar mentions this, but it comes out in Rebbe Nachman's teachings, that another term for the keter, for the highest part of the keter, the Zohar says, and the Kabbalah teaches, has 3 sections. Like a crown, an actual crown. Keter translates as a crown. When a physical crown is placed on the head of a king, the crown itself has 3 sections. There's the bottom rim of the crown, which is actually sitting on the head of the king. And then the middle piece, the meat of the crown, which contains all the diamonds, whatever, but it's the main bulk of the crown. And then you have like the spitzes, the pointers on top of the crown, which, by the way, pointing up to Hashem. Every crown, a king's crown, is always pointing upwards to remind him and everyone that there's a God above. But it's a superiority expression. So just as a crown has those 3 parts, and each one has a different role. There's the part sitting on the king's head, and then the middle piece, which is the representation, and then there's the actual spitzes, which are connecting to what's above the crown. So too, the top of the crown in the Kabbalah, the Keter, is called 2 terms. One is called Adam Kadmon, which we're not going to go into at all, because this is pure Kabbalah, way beyond our grasp. But it's also called what's called the Orot HaTzachtzachot, the lights of splendor. Splendor. This word in Hebrew is called tzachtzachot. This word tzachtzachot, the Zohar points out, can be explained. It says like this, the Zohar, above and below. What does that mean? Can be explained above and below. That the word tzachtzach has 2 meanings, and these meanings are like 180 degrees opposite each other. The one meaning, which is the simple meaning, as is portrayed in a verse from Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 11, where it talks about the reward in the future. The Gemara uses this verse as representing one of the 11 blessings, the 4th of 11 blessings that a person gets when he consoles a poor person. When a poor person comes for asking for tzedakah, and the person doesn't have money to give him, but he gives him chizuk, he gets more blessings. He gets 11 blessings, as opposed to someone who actually gives tzedakah, he gets only 6. The desired goal is to do both, to give actual physical money and get the 6 blessings, plus the 11 additional ones by giving him encouragement. You get 17, which is gematria of tov, good. That's really goodness. However, the 4th verse 11, or 12, sorry, of the 11 blessings reads in the middle of the verse, V'hisbia betzachtzachot nafshecha. That's where the word tzachtzachot appears in Isaiah 58, chapter 58, where the verse translates, and this is how the Radak translates in the Mitzudat David, Mitzudat Zion, Rashi, the Malbim, V'hisbia, and Hashem will satiate, betzachtzachot, in tzachtzachot, your soul. How is it translated on the simple meaning? And Hashem will satiate your soul, which is thirsty, parched, dry, which is a time of expression of yearning. You're thirsty. Okay? In our context, the Zohar is explaining like this. Tzachtzachot means a person who's spiritually dried up, parched, and dried up in yearning. Because of being dried up, he's yearning. So in the verse is translating, and Hashem will satiate your soul, which was parched and dry. In our context, that a person feels far due to the setbacks in life. So he's filled with yearning. Yearning. So the verse promises, and Hashem will satiate b'tzachtzachot nafshecha. So the Zohar is saying, to achieve these tzachtzachot, these high level of lights, which pertain to the highest level of this crown called Keter, okay, it's tzachtzachot, you have to yearn. That's the one translation below. And the Zohar says, and what's the second explanation of the word tzachtzachot? Like it means, letzachtzech, like we say in Hebrew, modern Hebrew, to clean, to brush your teeth is letzachtzech shinaim, to make bright and clean and shining, like tzach ve'adom. That's another verse terminology meaning something which is bright, clear, and red. Tzach ve'adom. But the idea of tzach means something which is full of light and joy. So in this word, tzachtzachot, we have the two meanings which basically work together, even though two opposites. To come to the light of splendor, which is a light, or tzachtzachot, which is pure, shining, happy, smiling, you need also tzachtzachot. You need to feel dried and parched so that you yearn and desire for it. That's the only way to reach this level of orta tzachtzachot. But the way to come to this tzachtzachot is through simcha. Simcha, in doing mitzvot, generates the means that when a person reaches the Keter and then is bounced back in life in order to create vessels to perceive within them the infinite light. So what is expected of a person when he's bounced back is to be filled with the positive yearning to connect. And that yearning in itself allows for a person to experience this light, which on a practical level, like we said, translates as clarity in life, clarity through all the frustrations and confusions, and also a way out. Ki v'simcha tetzeu, because it's through joy that you will get out, okay? With this in mind, we can understand the whole idea of the four species and their breakup in two sections. One section is the lulav, which is attached with the aravot and the hadassim. On the other hand, you have the actual etrog, okay? We take on Sukkot, we take the lulav, hadas, and aravot, which are bound together, attached together, on one hand, and then we say the bracha al netilat lulav, and then we join with them the actual etrog. So what's the idea of the lulav and the aravot and the hadas? Lulav can be re-expressed as lo lev. To him Hashem, I give my heart. In other words, these three, which are, if you notice, all green, and they present the actual vegetation, as opposed to the etrog, which is actual fruit of the vegetation, these three refer and express the desire of a Jew to connect to Hashem due to the situation. So lo lev is the lulav, which means I'm trying to connect my heart to Hashem, and it's bound with the aravot. Aravot are from the language of arava. Arava means also erev, arvei nachal. The verse reads arvei nachal, and the word arev also means night. And erev, the word night, comes from, Rashi brings us down the Chumash, from irbuvia, a mixture. Words of confusion. In other words, arvei nachal is hinting to the confusion that forces a person to express his heart to Hashem, his yearning, the lulav. The lulav is due to the pressure caused by the erev, the irbuvia, the arvei nachal, the aravot, which is darkness, confusion, frustration. That's what pushes me to express my heart to Him. Hashem, all I want is You. Lo lev, that's the lulav. And now the hadassim. In the verse, they're called anaf etz avot. A branch, a willow branch. Sorry, not a willow branch. It's a branch of myrtle, but it's called anaf, a branch of etz avot. What's etz avot? A tree which is avot. So avot is like a chain, a triple chain. That's why the hadas has to be tripled, and that ideally the three bottom leaves should cover the bottom of the upper three leaves coming up, so it looks like a chain. The idea of a chain is also similar in that a person feels chained in life. The setbacks make him feel chained. The arava makes him feel confused and frustrated, and the anaf etzavot hadassim signify feeling that you're chained up, that you can't do what you want to do in life, and everything is backwards. Everything is like setback. So it's thanks to the arava, the confusion, irbuvia, erev, night, and the avot, the chains, which represent the tripled leaves of the hadas, and they're attached to the lulav, and that the lulav can then express it's the person's inner essence. Lo lev, to him is my heart. These three are the yearning part of the tzachtzachot, and the goal is to come to the light of the tzachtzachot, which is represented in the etrog. The etrog is the beauty of the Arbat Aminim. Rebbe Nachman said in his book, Rebbe Nachman's Wisdom, Sichot Haran, the Jewish people are not stupid for spending so much money on this mitzvah of etrog, because you can't fool the Jewish people, and the fact that Jewish people are willing to go to high extremes to pay enormous amounts for a beautiful etrog shows you how far-reaching this mitzvah is. And in fact, in Likutey Moharan lesson 67 part 2, Rebbe Nachman equates the hidur of the etrog, the beauty of the etrog, to the beauty and fame and splendor of the tzaddikim. So etrog and tzaddikim are synonymous, that they both show and emanate light and clarity and joy. Like another verse Rebbe Nachman quotes in lesson 61, Likutey Moharan, or tzaddikim yismach. It's a verse. The light of the tzaddikim brings joy. Okay? So when we take the four species in two sections, the three, which is the lulav, the arava, and the hadas, in one hand, and we have in the second hand the etrog, we are joining together, and we join them together, we're joining the two meanings of tzachtzachot, the lights of splendor, the yearning needed to connect to it, and the simcha generated as a result. We didn't explain this point, but the prerequisite to get to yearning and desire is simcha, and the end result is higher level of joy due to the clarity generated from the confusion and frustration. Getting to clarity and light is the idea of what Rebbe Nachman calls simcha yetera, additional joy. And it's a cycle. That's how it is in life. You start off with joy, you're faced with setbacks, you do the yearning and desire and clinging part, and then this offers newer clarity, which is a higher level of simcha. Once you reach that, now you're ready again for the future challenge. You're pushed back again, and that's how life is. Always reaching higher and higher levels of clarity and light and simcha. So again, joining the lulav, arava, and hadas in one hand with the etrog is joining the two meanings of tzachtzachot. We're not finished, so now take a look at the word etrog. Spell out the word etrog. We'll do it. I'll take my little calculator here. So etrog is 1, plus 400 is tav, okay, plus resh is 200, plus 3, okay, 604. We didn't do the vav, okay? So let's keep that in mind, 604. So now, let's go to the word tzachtzachot. Tzachtzachot, the splendor, light of splendor, okay? So tzadik chet, that's 98, plus again, tzach, it's twice, so 98 plus 98. Here we do the vav, plus 6, okay? Plus tav, 400, watch this, 602, add 1 for the word, 603, etrog is 604, we'll add an aleph for orot, the light of splendor, it's called orot hatzachtzachot, so we add an aleph for the 1, so we have here also 604. Unbelievable. 603, 604. The etrog shows the actual culmination of the tzachtzachot. And it's due to joining both yearning and desire, which is represented by the three minim, and then joining the etrog. This explains also why do you say the bracha of in other words, you're holding already the lulav, the arava, and the hadas, and before you take the etrog, you say al netilat lulav. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu mecholam asher kedishanu b'mitzvot al netilat lulav, on taking the lulav. And you already took the lulav, and you say the blessing after you've taken the lulav in your hand, but before taking the etrog. What's going on? But I've taken the lulav already in my hand. Because the completion of the lulav and the arava and the hadas is only once the etrog is joined, then retroactively you see the potential to actual goal of the lulav. So we only say the bracha after we've taken the lulav, once we have, before getting the actual etrog in your hand. That's what completes the idea of the four species. Okay? On just another deeper level, a more Breslov level, these three, the lulav and the aravot and the hadassim, correspond to three separate but connected devotions which can hype up and build up a person's yearning and desire. Okay? The first one is hitbodedut. Hitbodedut is only you and Hashem. You're not reading any text, not reading any book. You're talking to Hashem from your heart. That's the idea of the lulav. There's one lulav. It's only you and Hashem. Lo lev. To him is my heart, my personal hitbodedut. But because not everyone has a capacity to just openly express their heart, they need help. So the aravot, which is two, represents Rav Nossin's unbelievable prayers, Likutey Tfilot, which are known to open a person's heart just like that. Rav Michael Dorfman of blessed memory, a Breslov elder from the previous generation, you can read about him in our new book, Century of Growth, and also another previous book, Against All Odds, on this amazing individual who had the merit to know for at least, Baruch Hashem, 10 years, his last 10 years. He would say to me a few times that Rebbe Nachman teaches that it's a lesson, Likutey Moharan part 2, I think it's lesson 72, 73, or 74, that a person should find himself in the words of Tehillim. I think it's 72. And you have to find yourself in the words of Tehillim, to interpret, to translate the words of Tehillim onto what you're going through. So Rav Michael would tell me, with Rav Nossin's prayers, you don't have to do that. You don't have to find. As soon as you open the book, you see yourself immediately. That's how powerful these prayers are, that they're so all-inclusive that anywhere you open, hey, that's me. I'm right over here. I just opened it. This is exactly me, exactly what I'm going through right now in my life. So Likutey Tfilot is like the aravah, where it's you, plus the book. All you have to do is open the book, and there you are. You don't have to find yourself. Okay? The hadas is 3. Because Rebbe Nachman says you have to open the book, and then find yourself, and then use that to hype up your personal hitbodedut. So the hadas is 3. It's opening the book, finding yourself in the words, and using the words of Tehillim to express what you're going through. Likutey Tfilot is the aravah, which is two leaves, because there's the actual book and your hitbodedut. But the lulav, which is the goal, is only you. The goal of the hadas and aravah is to enhance the lulav in prayer. These 3 are vegetation. They're all green because they express growth. Vegetation, green, which means idea of absorbing to advance and to bring out from potential to actual. Okay, that's the growth of a tree, which in most cases is the fruit, like the etrog. But the etrog is different. The etrog is the goal, is the end goal of light and simcha. So may we be zoche on this amazing Sukkot festival to take advantage of the 7 days, or it depends if you're in the diaspora, 8 days, I guess. No, everyone's 7 days of taking the lulav, these 7 days, except for Shabbat, of course, and pondering on the power that you are activating with the 4 species in your hands. The power of yearning and desire and cleaving to Hashem, represented in the lulav, the aravah, and the hadas, and the understanding and seeing how the obstacles and setbacks in life are just meant to, the chaining of the hadas and the confusion of the arvei nachal, the aravah, is just meant to enhance your lev, lo lev, your heart to Hashem, which is the idea of the lulav branch, which is like long and pointing up. The another point is that the length of the lulav is showing your distance from Hashem. It's long. It's longer than any other of the 4 species, to express where I'm holding on the bottom, and I'm just so far from the top. But my heart is up all the way to Hashem, even though I'm so far and so low. So may we be zoche that these 3 should activate this yearning and desire and cleaving to Hashem, and the etrog should bring us the joy generated by this yearning and desire and cleaving, and grant us the clarity we need in life to make it B'ezrat Hashem. Chag Sameach.